Alright, so I got some lights set up here. Show you a little bit about the wood boiler here itself. So this is the main loading door. Open that up, and should open a little bit, and you can see inside of there. I just measured it. The wood box inside of there is 36 inches deep. It can take 36-inch wood. Again, I cut my wood about 24 inches long, but it can take very, very long wood. Again, I cut it 24 inches long only because that's how big my log splitter is. And about 30 inches in diameter. So I can fit a lot of wood in there. Again, about a one wheelbarrow load. A big heaping wheelbarrow load can fit in there. The bottom door is my ash door. It's also where I light it from. Up top here, I've got two aquastats. One of them is my high limit aquastat. It'll tell it if it gets over 220 degrees, it'll shut the boiler down. And this is my low limit aquastat. When it gets down below about 105 degrees, it'll switch over to the propane backup heating system. Just got a temperature gauge, pressure gauge there. Again, it is a pressurized system. On the back side, I'll show you a blow-off valve. So down below, this door right here, that's where there's pipes. So in the design of a gasification system, the air goes out that big tube in the back, right back here. All the smoke gets pulled out through that, actually. I'll show you that on the other end, how that works with the blower unit. So all the smoke gets pulled out through that big 6-inch pipe in the back, comes back through the water jacket to these pipes here in the front, and then back again through the tubes back out to the chimney on the back side. So the smoke is actually going through the water 3 times to get completely burnt. It's getting fed by oxygen by the blower unit, so it's burning hot, it's burning complete. It's heating that water up as best as it can. Up on top here, we've got these control units. And what these do is, at certain temperatures, based on your chimney stack temperatures, it'll open these doors. So this door opens first. This is your main air door. This is a secondary combustion door. Over here, this is your initial air feeding door. Comes off of that unit. And then on the side over here, we've got 4th door over there. So Gary, the guy that designed and built this unit, has said that he's played around a lot with these different doors. Has got them where they're working well, and I do agree it's a very good setup. He's got everything fine-tuned, put it on there, gets everything set up, and it works great right from the first installation. So over here on the wall is our control units. I've got a main switch on and off. I've got a timer that controls how long that the unit is on. Main control panel there, shut off switch, and then down here is my zones for the heating system for the hydronic unit 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2 other systems, or 2 other zones on there in case I want to add on later. And then a switching relay to switch between the boiler and the propane unit. So it looks kind of complicated. Once I understood it, it all makes sense to me. I know how it operates, know how it works. But it is kind of a little overwhelming at first when we were putting it all together. But it does make sense how everything works. And like I said, it is absolutely seamless the way it'll switch over from the wood unit over to the propane. So let's go over here to the other end and take a look at that. So this is our blower unit up here on the wall. And what this does, there's a big fan inside of that round case. And this is the smokestack coming out of the boiler. And that fan spins around inside of there, sucks the air through the boiler, up this stainless pipe, and then blows it up the chimney. So the system is pressurized. There's I can open the loading doors on the front side. There's no smoke that comes out, and the smoke is pushed up the chimney, actually. I don't need to have a natural draft. It's actually pushed up the chimney by that blower unit. I do have a clean out down here at the bottom, right there, for cleaning out any soot or any creosote that does accumulate. I only clean that out about once a year, and I get very little creosote in it. on the back side down here, these are where the tubes come through from the front and then go towards, go back out to the front. So they come from the firebox and loop back around to the front. And then this side over here is coming on the third pass back over before it goes out the chimney. So again, this may seem a little bit confusing, but overall it works excellent. I'm very happy with the Switzer boiler, very happy with the installation, with the propane unit and everything. Looking at the domestic hot water coil sits in here. The blue line is coming from the cold side, and then the red is going out hot. And it feeds over here to our propane-fired domestic hot water tank. Again, that will seamlessly switch on when it gets cold and burn propane if it needs to. Majority of the time, I don't even have that unit turned on because we're running the boiler year round. So, as mentioned, it is a pressurized unit, pressurized boiler. So this black tank up here is an expansion tank. That tank is about half filled with water, depending on the temperature and the pressure. The level in that tank will move up and down, allowing some expansion. The entire boiler, the outside of it has this R4 foil-faced foam board on there, insulation board. There's actually 2 layers of that, so there's about R9 on the outside of it. Underneath that, there's 3 layers of R19. So all total, I've got almost R70 of insulation surrounding this tank. So that's why I can heat this tank up to 220 degrees today, and a week later I'll still have hot water coming out of my showers. Again, it's a really great setup. It works really well. So I like everything about it. We'll take a look up at the ceiling in the basement, which is below the first floor. The boiler is over here to the right. These are the hot lines coming from the boiler. There's some mixing valves down there. Everything is running copper. The guy that installed this, really great plumber, but a little bit old school. He likes the copper look. He likes everything nice and straight and neat. Did a very beautiful job. I mean, it is a piece of artwork to look at all these copper lines and the valves, and he just has everything perfectly planned out in his head before he even starts this. So it took a long time for him to put all this together, but again, I can't say it enough that everything works perfectly about this system, and I just really enjoy. I even just enjoy turning on the heat in the wintertime. So up here is one of the zone control for the radiant floor heat. There's a taco zone control valve right there, and then there's your mixing lines going out for the radiant floor, the PEX and the floor heat. So that's just one zone. Show you one example of that. There's 4 of them in the house. Actually, these 2 lines are extra ones that are just plumbed in there. I'm sorry, there's a line there, and here's your return line. But those 2 are just an extra for an extra zone if I want to do that. Possibly thinking about adding on to the second floor at some point. So those are available. Again, just goes to show how well thought out the system was by the plumber that installed it. Again, an awesome system. We really enjoy having it. Really enjoy burning wood. Take you up here and show you our supplemental heat. We have our primary boiler here. We've got our backup propane boiler, and then we'll show you our supplemental heat upstairs here. And last but certainly not least in our heating system is this wood stove. So we have this in our living room, our family room, whatever you want to call it. We just put this in last fall. This is a nice unit just to take a little chill off sometimes. Kind of those in-between seasons when you're not ready to heat the house in the fall and in the springtime, but you want a little bit of warmth in the house. Right now we're in the middle of April, so it's perfect. We're not burning this right now, but we have just a couple weeks ago, which is why it's a little bit dirty, but that just shows that we use it. So this wood stove is made by England Stove Works. It was actually given to me by a neighbor. I helped him move a coal stove into his cabin. He had this in there for a couple years. Switched over to coal, so he gave me this wood stove, and it works really well. I really love this wood stove. We used it through the winter. getting sturdy, so don't mind the ashes inside. But it takes a 16 to 18 inch log. 18 is absolute max. So I try to cut them about 16 inches. So it's an EPA wood stove. So it's got a secondary combustion. So it's kind of the same idea as the gasification boiler downstairs, is that it burns that smoke. It has a secondary combustion, and you get more heat out of the wood. You're using all the BTUs that are in the wood. So it's a really nice setup. It does have a blower on the back, but I don't even have that on. It's here in the family room, and it's too loud for us. We just use this again just to take a little bit of the chill off, and it works really well. So I built the house with the chimney here, with the thimble coming through the wall, with the intentions of having a wood stove in here. Again, when I'm planning the house out, we live out in the woods. We're the last one all the way at the end of the electric line. If we got a big storm or something and the power was going to go out for a couple weeks, needed some way to heat the house. And the boiler downstairs works great when there is electricity. All those zone valves and the pumps and everything through the system to run it through the floor, that all takes the electricity. So to have a wood stove that can heat the house if we need to is a great idea. We do love it in the wintertime to take that chill off and keep it that a couple extra degrees warmer in here. Without any problem, we can heat the house with this wood stove without electricity. The bedrooms might be a little bit cool. We may have to shut off some water or something, because to keep it from freezing. It's made for a 2,000 square foot house. This house is 2,000 square feet, so I wouldn't have any problems trying to heat the house with this. More emergency situation or anything like that. So again, that's kind of an overview of our heating system. I appreciate you. A little different video for me today. I'm not really doing anything, just talking to you. Not necessarily in front of the camera very much either. But I hope you enjoyed it, give you a little idea of what we've got going on in our house. So thanks for watching.